Have you ever had one of those struggles where day after day you want to break a bad habit, but this bad habit doesn't want to be broken? I mean, you come to it face to face time and time again, and it puts you in such a paralyzation that you can't even begin to move forward. If you can envision that and you feel that, then stick with me, because I want to get into this subject with you just a bit more. So I like to think of things in terms of warfare. That's my stuff. I love strategy, the whole mental part of it, the cunningness, the games, the back and forth, the zigzags, all of that warfare involves, plus the mind fascinates me. So I want to get into this topic with a quote from Sun Tzu. When we are able to attack, we must seem unable. When using our forces, we must appear inactive. When we are near, we must make the enemy believe we are far away. When far away, we must make him believe we are near. Make him believe we are near when we are far, and far when we are near. Hey, you know what? I totally feel that, and it resonates in my bones, because when I really want to access that part of my mind, that ass kicker, that part of me that takes over, that takes control and grabs life by the horns, and I believe it's near, it's usually really far. And when I believe it's far, sometimes it's really near. That little game my mind plays on me. I don't know if you guys can relate to this, but for me, I relate to this. That game my mind plays on me is a constant tug of war, a constant stronghold of negativity placed upon me, because it's like I'm out of sync with my mind. It's like my mind's fighting against me, and it's almost like a war going on in my head, and I've been hoodwinked by my mind, because when my mind is supposed to show me truth, it's showing me deception. Or maybe I shouldn't call it the mind. Maybe I should call it the interworkings of the mind. But I know that there's a deception at play. Which brings me to another part that I want to get into. Here it is. Sun Tzu said, "The good fighters of old first put themselves beyond the possibility of defeat, and then waited for an opportunity of defeating the enemy. To secure ourselves against defeat lies in our own hands, but the opportunity of defeating the enemy is provided by the enemy himself." Provided by the enemy himself. So where does your mind, where does my mind, where does anybody's mind provide the opportunity to defeat it? That's $1 million question. Where is that opportunity? Well, I believe the mind gives you all kinds of opportunities, and one of them is when it says stop, you say go. When it says go, you say stop. And what I mean by that is, when you're about to do something and everything inside of you is fighting you not to do it, that's usually the time, for me at least, that I know I should push forward and do it. And I have like a couple seconds. I got like this few second gap that I do that. Otherwise, I stay trapped and being paralyzed and I can't move forward. Let's talk about procrastination, which is a state of inactiveness, which is a state of being paralyzed. Rhythm, momentum, catching a little pickup, just picking up from the ground. That's the hardest part. And it's near, it's really near, but it appears so far because you're just so overwhelmed by whatever it is you're procrastinating on in some shape, way, or form that you just don't even want to bother to get it started. So how does this take place in our lives? Well, for me, I know me, I really hate cleaning. When I want to clean in the morning, I get up, and the first 5 minutes is when I usually know how the rest of the day is going to go. And, you know, there's this back and forth in my mind. When am I going to do it? I'm going to do it. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to wait a few seconds, then start. I'm going to start, but then I'm going to wait a few seconds. This whole nonsense playing back and forth in my head, that stops me from just piercing through and cutting through. That my mind does provide me. When it says to stop, I say go. When it says to go, I say stop, because even stopping when you don't want to stop, when you know you should, is a form of procrastination. That's my little mind maze that I'm stuck in. So Hold on, just give me a sec. Here we are. Here we are in a battle with our mind. For me, I talked about procrastination. For you, it could be anything. But the battle is real. Well, I think one of the quotes by Sun Tzu is the highest form of warfare is to subdue the enemy without a fight. So that is to put everything together to make you want to begin, to end the fight in your mind, the civil war inside your mind, as Carl Jung would say. If we want to do that, then we have to fire on all cylinders. We got to get our minds to get involved to want to do it. Momentum is key. Momentum is key. Momentum will make you want to do it more. Action will turn you on. It's the Viagra to inaction. Once you begin doing the things that your mind is at war with, the war begins to cease. It's almost like the only way out is in. So, I love having these kind of conversations with people. What deceives you? I love even more having these conversations with myself. What deceives me? How can I rise up beyond what deceives me today so that tomorrow I'm not fooled by it? Maybe I'll be fooled by something else. That's a greater battle. But today, how do I win that small victory? Sooner or later, those small victories stack up and they turn into big victories. And you know what breaks my heart is the discouragement that happens when we're on this path. It's so easy to stop, but it's so hard to begin. Beginning is the hardest part. And what's interesting about me is often I get paralyzed by analysis. I overthink shit. And that really messes me up. And I know that action is the antidote. Action is the antidote. Whatever you have that's plaguing you, there is an antidote too, as far as the mind is concerned. The question is, could you find that antidote? That's where we go to war. And I'm here in this war with you, calling you and calling myself both to action, to try to figure this out and to try to move forward. Where are you in a deception battle with yourself? Where's your mind playing guerrilla warfare on you? Where does your mind sneak up on you? Those are the best questions to ask yourself, I feel. And you know what? Those are questions that I'm asking myself daily. And it's good to ask, but then it's good to act. It's good to put both together. When you put both together, things start moving. You're able to create change in yourself and in the environment around you. So, what is it that you want to conquer? What's the battle you want to conquer in your own mind? What is it? Leave a comment. I'd love to hear. For me, I know it's procrastination. For you, it might be something different. The way to stop deceiving yourself is to tell yourself the brutal, honest truth. But there's so many pitfalls in your mind, so many thoughts in your mind preventing you from asking those honest questions. It's almost like until it's too late, it's not clear. That's the bad part. So, I'll leave you guys with this video, and I'll say that get out there, go head to head with your battle, try not to deceive yourself, and make change happen, and end the war inside yourself. Stop battling with yourself. Make yourself your best friend, because the moment you do, you'll thank yourself.